Hello and good morning. My name is Laura and welcome to Book Bubbler. I have about 20 minutes before I need to leave for an appointment, so I thought I would try and take advantage of some daylight. There's not much of it to be had today, but it's not going to get any better. It's almost 11 a.m. On Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, and it's been raining and cloudy and overcast all night long. I was hoping for sun, but no luck. Anyways, I thought I would just do a quick chat and catch you up on what I've read, what I'm planning to read for the week, plans for next year, etc. I finished 2 books since Saturday night. Both were read in one go. Thank you, Insomnia. You'll notice that most of my reading tends to get done between like 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. Not intentionally, I can assure you. I love sleep and I really miss it, but what can I do? So the first book I finished was by Sheila Connolly, the second in the County Cork series. It was called Scandal in Skibbereen, or Skibbereen. Maura, the American who inherited this pub in the Leap in County Cork, Ireland, obviously. She is working one day and this loud American comes in and is being cagey and rude and I guess stereotypically American, which I guess sad but true. And she eventually tells Maura that she's looking for a big country house in the area to try and find a potential lost Van Dyck masterpiece painting. So she and her new friend, artist friend Gillian, help out this new American, and of course there's a dead body, and then there's all the suspicion, and you know, it's a cozy mystery. I liked it. It was entertaining. The thing I didn't like was that Maura felt the need to constantly correct the American visitor, whose name I think was Althea, which just makes me think of Friends. Sorry, I can't stop thinking about Althea now. Anyways, so she was just pushy, and the way they tried to put her in her place and remind her to, you know, ask nicely and behave seemed a little strange. Maybe I should say uneven. She acted like Althea never picked up at any kind of social cues or people shutting her out. Like she was just totally immune to the world around her, which I don't know anyone who isn't affected by the world around them in some way, shape, or form. And after several days of running into the same people over and over again and asking for help, you would think a please or something would come into it. I don't know. It just seemed like the putting her in her place part was, I don't know. It just seemed unwarranted. Like they were treating her like she had just come there, and she had made changes. She was asking please. She was asking people for help and trying to think of different ways to make things easier a little bit, but minor quibble. But it was fine. It was, 3 stars. I liked it. Nothing earth-shattering, And then last night I got into bed at 11. I was very tired, and then I just woke up. So I started a new ebook from the library, and then I ended up checking out earlier that day because I thought, what if there are pictures? I want to see the pictures in the book. There aren't really any pictures in the book, but anyways, I finished completely in 4 hours. This Will Only Hurt a Little by Phillips. This is her memoir of her childhood and adult life up until she decides that she wants to host a late night talk show. I liked her a lot. I think in some ways we could be friends or get along very well, and in some ways not at all. More we could get along than not. But she was funny. It was really compelling. The 4 hours really flew by. Yeah, I just liked it. So if you like celebrity memoirs and you like Phillips, I recommend you pick it up. I gave this 3.5 stars, so I liked it. Not quite, really liked it, but I liked it quite a bit. My favorite parts were when she talked about Cougar Town, because I love Cougar Town. I really miss it. So it was nice to get some inside scoop on that. I'd never watched Dawson's Creek. I always thought it was kind of dumb. Same with Full House, sorry. But I really liked Cougar Town, so it was nice to read a little bit about that too. Anyways, so that was what I read last night. So day before Thanksgiving, it's just my mom and I this year, and I'm going to her house for the very first time. My childhood, every holiday, my whole family and I went out to my mom's best friend's house up in a city about 30 minutes away or so. And once her kids started having kids, my parents and I just opted to stay home. There's 3 or 4 of us, and usually came to my house. I had 2 cats who I adore. They're my little soulmates, but unfortunately they are both gone now. So this is the first year we are doing a holiday at my parents' house. So we're splitting cooking duties. It's going to be pretty quiet. We all wear sweatpants, chill out, take a nap if you want, watch some old movies. It'll be nice and easy. Won't be a late night either because we both want to take a nap, I'm sure. But so that'll be Thanksgiving. And the rest of the weekend, I don't really have any plans. I'd like to start decorating for Christmas a little bit, and I'd like to, of course, clean up the house as usual. But really, I would like to get into reading physical books in daylight hours and see how that goes. I have a quite large library stack. I just added 4 more onto my stack of 16, so that I believe that makes 20 books, if I can do my math. Not a math major. So I'm like to get through some of those. A lot of them are graphic novels, and a lot of them actually are inspired or just directly because of booktubers. So I'd like to get to some of those this weekend and get that stack narrowed down a little bit. I'm also working on my plans for next year. Excuse me, coffee break. I normally start making plans for the next year at the beginning of the previous year. So throughout the year I start making plans, but in July or August I start to really buckle down and consider what I want to focus on for the next year of reading. So I'm still working on that a little bit. I'd like to leave some space for spontaneous booktube reads. I did sign up to be a booktube prize judge this year. I signed up for all the rounds. I signed up for both fiction and nonfiction. I don't know if and when I'll be used for any or all of them. What kind of books I'll be reading doesn't matter. I'm just excited to be doing it. Nervous that I'll make a mistake somehow, but as long as I read the books, I can't really make a mistake, so I just have to try and work on letting my natural freaked outedness go. I'd also like to focus on reading my own books. That will be its own, probably very rambly video at some point this month. I'd like to figure out how to edit things first before I try to cut things in and talk over a bookshelf tour and things. So really, I'm just trying to narrow some things down for reading next year. I've been in a classics book group called Contemplate a Classic for maybe 18 years now. The last 5 or 6 years when my life has really imploded, I haven't gone. I went maybe once a year, and this last calendar year, people I've hardly met. I went in January, and then every month we send each other a text in a big group to ask who's coming, and people either don't respond or say, oh no, I'm sick, or I'm out of town, or shoot, I forgot that was tonight. So last month we meet on the first Thursday of every month. So last month there were 3 of us, and that was nice to see the 3 of them, the other 2 of them, for a change. So I'm hoping that we can have at least that many again in December. We used to read the same book all together every time, and we would just rotate. There were 6 members at first, and people have rotated in and out, but it's always been 6 or 7 people. So we just went in a row. We each picked one book for a month in order, and we read it and talked about it. We all read and kept up the first few years, and then I probably was the first one to start slacking off and not finishing in time. I don't mind if people talk about endings in front of me. I used to remember absolutely everything when I read books, but now it's been so long and I have read so many thousands of books, it doesn't matter anymore. You can tell me the ending, and generally speaking, I will not remember probably within 10 minutes that you told me the ending of a book. So I started slacking off. Other people were slacking off, and reading the same book just didn't work. So now we each read our own books. Our kind of leader, her name is Renee. Hi Renee, you're not watching this. She sends out monthly reminders 2 weeks before, and we each have a spot where we can list the books that we'll be reading. She picks, I think, 2 years in advance, so she's all set. She reads a lot of more obscure things, nonfiction, history. We read some stuff by Alexander Hamilton because of her. We read I think some Plato. Or was it Euripides? Or is that a play? I don't know Greek stuff. Don't come at me. anyways, so she's all picked up for the year and she's trying to encourage us to pick our year 2. And I know myself, I know I'm more of a mood reader and I don't want to get locked into a list. I can change anything anytime, but I feel like once I say something, I'm locked into it. So I just chose the first 3 months for next year. It's 2 books. The first book I will be reading for January is Curtain by Agatha Christie. This is the last book in the Hercule Poirot series, which I will probably do a separate video about also, but that series means a lot to me personally and to my family. I don't want to talk about it too much because I have to leave and I don't want to start crying. I've been trying to read this book for 2 years and haven't quite done it. I got 80 pages in and then I had to stop because I started to cry and I couldn't anymore. So I'm going to make myself read that for December for my January reads. And then my Classics Book Club pick for February and March will be Cecilia by Fanny Burney. It was written in, I think, 1783, and it's around 1,000 pages, so I'm breaking it up roughly in half. I can certainly read 1,000 pages in a month, it's not that, but I like to jump around, and I usually have 10 or 12 books going at a time. So I know I'm not going to want to sit and just read one book for hours and hours on end without switching to something else. So I got that figured out and I'm okay with those things first. They're both off of my shelves. I already own copies, so I'm not spending any money, which is a good thing. So yeah, just trying to work on some things around the house, figure out bookish things. That's always the priority in my life. So I have been rambling for 11.5 minutes. Let's wrap this up. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving if you celebrate. Regardless, have a wonderful end to the week, and I will be back hopefully over the weekend with what I've been reading. Hopefully it's quite a few books, fingers crossed, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.